Good evening, everyone. I hope you got the code for the last class, LS3. Good evening, Parini. Good evening, Deepika. Good evening, Kumar Babu and Ashish. Just let me know, did you get the code for the last class, last live session, where we did the analysis of IPL matches? Manmeet is saying no. Okay. I sent it on Tuesday. Did you get content for LS4? Because I sent it along with it. Good evening, Manas. LS4 PPT. Okay. Pranay, if you're there, can you please check with the upgrade buddy why they have not received the LS4 PPT as well as the code for LS3, because I've sent it on Tuesday to my coordinator. Thanks, Pranay. I'll just drop a message to my coordinator also. Okay, if your upgrade buddy is on leave, Manas, then somebody else will be assigned his job. So it's not that you will be left hanging over. There will be someone else who would be doing his job. So let's see. I've dropped a message to my coordinator. She will ensure, and Pranay will ensure from upgrade side. Okay, they did not receive from MIS. Let me check the date on my. I sent July 5th at 1:22 p.m. the code and LS4 content July 5th, 1:30 p.m. So to my coordinator. So 5th July, 1:30 and 1:55, the contents were sent to them. So by the evening, as per my knowledge, you should have received it. Okay, Pranay said that he has raised it to the concerned POC. It will be resolved soon. Fine. All right. Okay. All right. Rohit has some questions. Okay. Rohit, what my plan for today? All right. Everyone, the plan for today is if you have queries from LS1, 2, and 3, you can raise it. Then we will have some discussion that is required for task 2 of your project. And all the queries and all the questions of the project I'll take afterwards. Is it fine, Rohit and Kumar? Okay. I want to finish up the content that is mandatory and required for your task 2 first. Then we will take up the project. And whatever the time we will have afterwards, we'll do some visualizations so that you, although it's optional and not coming in TEE, but in your interviews and when you are saying data science, you cannot say that it was optional in my syllabus and I didn't do it. Okay, so we'll take up that afterwards once we are through with everything. So any queries from LS1, LS2 or LS3 content? I'll take that first, then we will start with all those things that is required for your project. Any queries? How to multiply two columns in the data frame and sorting based on that. Okay. Kumar, you require that for your task to calculate popularity in your project, right? Yes. Okay. All you have to do is take one column. Okay. Okay, let me see if I can show you by multiplying something in my case study. Let me check. All right, everyone can see my code. In case of between 4 and 5. All right, you guys are asking question how to do this and how to do that. All right, let me answer your questions first. Let me answer the question about multiplying two columns. All right, let me start with that and I'll answer one by one all the questions. Okay, Kumar Babu, what I can do is, let me check. I'll show you how to do in this. Okay, let me see where I have my case. See, I have merge. Let me not take the merge one. It is a big one. IPL final matches. Okay, this is my data frame, IPL matches DF. Okay. So this is working. So let me show you how to multiply the columns. Okay. Say I have this is my data frame, all right, which has all my contents for IPL matches. So let's see what columns I have here. So these are the columns. Okay, now which are the numeric columns? So let's go for info. Actually, I don't have any kind of multiplication, but let me show you. Say if I have to calculate run rate. Okay, So what I'll do is, this is my match. I'll create a new column called as run rate. Okay. And say if the run rate is calculated by multiplying, say I'm getting, okay, let's calculate total, something called as tot. Okay. We don't have any, let me use the deliveries then. So this is my deliveries, okay? In this delivery, say I have, so let's have columns or info we have up here. So let's say I have these deliveries, okay? In these deliveries, I have to calculate total runs. So now the total runs would be the sum of batsman run and extra runs. Although I have total runs here, so I'm going to create a new column, say total, okay? And it should be some summation of extra runs and batsman run, all right? So how I'm going to create it? So I'll copy the data frame name and say I create something called as tot. Okay. Now this tot should be the sum of batsman run plus extra runs. Although I have this, but just to show you how to perform arithmetic operations on the columns. Okay. Simple. Just adding two columns by identifying the columns required. Now, in case, like in your project, you need to multiply, you use a multiplication operator. Here, I need to just add them. I'll use an additive operator. Okay. And then when I say this again, okay. All right, let me load it. It might have not been loaded. It's not Batman. Not IP, please. Okay. Okay, this is missing. So this has been executed. Now, when you run the head, you will see there is a new column, total. Total runs was already there, but the end tot was there where it is adding the total run, batsman runs and extra runs. So it is same as total runs because that column is already there. Okay. Now the question was how to calculate. Yeah, Shrikant, quotes were missing. Right. Now, okay. Now somebody was asking how to calculate percentage. Manmeet is asking percentage. So Manmeet, percentage is again similarly. Say I want to calculate what is the percentage. Okay, so I'll say the name of the new name, say percentage of extra runs. Okay, the percentage of extra runs would be equal to IPL percentage extra runs divided by total runs so that is the basic percentage funda that you have. How do you calculate your marks, percentage marks, what you score? So the marks scored divided by the total marks into 100. Simple. Okay, you got it? So this is another new column I'm creating. Percentage of extra runs. What is the percentage of extra runs? So you can do this. Marks scored divided by the total marks. That is how you calculate your percentage in school for your subject, for your class. So same thing we are running out here. So when I check again head, so I have a new column, extra runs. There are a lot of nans because the total runs is 0. Okay, so we are trying to divide by 0 here. Okay, so wherever there are totals, so we can have 100%. Where there is some batsman run, there is no extra runs because it is delivery wise, right? So this is the case. So simple. How similarly you can calculate percentage for your batsman's code. Okay. Now let's see any other chat questions. Okay, let me check with your same for your. Let me. Okay, let me see what all the questions have been raised. First, let me solve those. Okay. Received Manmeet LS2 code. Can you send? Manmeet has already sent LS1 code. It was before LS2, so you should have got LS1 code. LS1, LS2, LS3, all codes have been sent from my side. LS1, I immediately sent it on that Saturday at around 10:40. LS2 immediately after the class around 1:40. And LS3 on Tuesday around 1:30. So LS1, I got confirmation from the learners also that they have received the code. Okay. Aishwarya saying only for LS2 we got PNV, we didn't get for other sessions. Brad Buddy is on leave. Aishwarya, you checked it from? Because my coordinator checked it with Adesh Oja from Upgrad team, and he confirmed to my coordinator that things have been shared with learners. Okay, Praneeth is saying LS1. Praneeth, LS1, LS2, LS3 code is there or not? Let me see. All right, now Rohit, I'm coming to your question, ma'am. There are a couple of doubts in assignment. 3.3 popularity, rating, total count, user rating. User rating should lie between 4. Okay, is both 4 and 5 inclusive? Okay. Rohit, regarding your question, 4 and 5. It is said, the question is saying, let me see, 3.3. See, the question is saying user rating should be more than 4. So if the user rating is more than 4, so simply you are going to use user rating, the check greater than 4. So 4 is not inclusive and 5 is inclusive. Okay. Regarding your query, Rohit, so 4 is not inclusive and 5 is inclusive. So let me show you, if you can see my whiteboard. So whatever the condition would be, so rating would be greater than 4. All right. Now, when you say greater than 4, the maximum rating you have is 5. So once you say rating that 4, so anything greater than 4 and equal to 5 will be included. I hope it's clear, Rohit. Kumar is saying 3.4 in project. 3.4. Let me read the question. 3.4. Kumar, there is no 3.4 question in my. Can you please tell me what is your 3.4 question? Because I have questions till 3.3. Okay, so the question 3.35, the top 10 on the basis of popularity, price, and size. There is no 3.4 question, Kumar. So if you have any 3.4 question in your, so let me know, because I don't have any here. Okay, Kumar is saying 3.3, 3.4 is typo in notebook. It's 3.3. 3.3 question, what is the doubt? Okay, I cannot solve the question for you guys, but I can clarify your doubts. So let me see what all you have doubts. Okay, Rohit, your question is clear, right? Okay, let me proceed then. Okay, how to multiply two columns, Kumar? I think now it's clear. In case of 4 and 5, both 4 is not included. Kirti, 5 is included. It is saying above 4. Above 4 means greater than 4. If it is saying 4 or more, it means equal to and greater than 4. Okay. How to calculate it percentage? Malmeet, I hope it's now clear how to calculate percentage. Okay. I have written the correct code, but it's showing error in 4.4 and 4.5. Manas, let me see what is the question 4.4 and 4.5. And add another column to the percentage total, which is contain total number of apps in each genre, and add number percentage. It is okay. Okay. Manas, can you share the error with me, please, on the chat? Because unless and until you tell me what the error is, I will not be able to help you out here, because it's a very straightforward question. That means you have to create a new column the way I have just shown you to draw the percentage. So let me please share the error so that I can solve that for you. Okay, and can help you out. Yes, Praneeth, that was a mistake I was doing. I was forgetting the codes. Okay, now Parvez is saying how to perform string related task in data frame. For example, how to split and combine strings. Same way that you used to do in your Python. The way in the Python string manipulation does not change. Basic string manipulation or numerical manipulation, arithmetic operations does not change in NumPy or Pandas. There is no special task. Okay. So it is basically handling of data frame, handling of data in matrix on 2D format. your string manipulation remains the same. Okay, just like I've shown you the operators here, using plus and multiplications and percentages, same way your string operations can be performed. All right. 3.3. Okay, questions. Abhinav is asking questions for the project. 3.3 rating should lie between 4 and 5. This is as per workbook. See, 3.3 user rating should be more than 4. And the workbook that has been shared to you, let me check on that also. Okay, 4 and 5. I checked your workbook also. Yes, Abhinav, there is a discrepancy in what is written in workbook and what is written in there. I checked up with the solution, and I have had a project briefing with the upgrade person who creates this projects for you. So as per our discussions, what we will going to accept is more than 4. So you should not include 4. So you just write greater than 4 and include 5 equal to 5. If you write greater than 4, there is no value above 5. So it should work, and that will be acceptable and will be giving the correct result. Okay, so for question 3.3, take it as, after my discussion with the upright person who creates your project, who creates your project assignment, greater than 4 is acceptable answer. But in question it says more than 4, so I assuming greater than. Yes, Abhinav, you are right, your assumption is right. All right, question number 5.1. For popularity, we will calculate for the entire data set ignoring the popularity. Can we create above the right and then sort top 10? Abhinav, I am not getting what you are asking. Just a second. Which rating of app should be used? Abhinav, I'm going to unmute you. Can you tell me what problem you have on 5.1? Okay. Abhinav, can you unmute yourself? Yeah, can you tell me what exactly you are looking for in question number 5.1?
Yeah, so in 5.1, so they asked us to calculate top, like based on popularity. But in the above questions, for one of the above question, the same question 3.3, we calculate popularity where the user rating
Yeah,
is
Abhinav, can you please explain what you are looking? What is the doubt in 5.1?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
I'm not able to hear you. Unmute yourself. I have allowed you to talk.
Ma'am, can you hear me now?
For popularity, we will calculate for entire data. Set ignoring. I don't understand set ignoring the popularity. Set we create above right. Can you please explain your doubt, please?
Ma'am, can you hear me now?
Are you able to talk?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
You can hear Abhinav, but I cannot hear Abhinav.
I think ma'am has her audio muted.
My volume is full. Can you speak again, Abhinav?
Yeah, hello, ma'am, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Just tell me what is the problem?
Yeah,
What is the doubt?
Yeah, so in 3.3, the same question where we used the user rating greater than 4, that is the same question we use that condition to calculate the popularity.
Right.
So in 5.1, the question is actually take top 10 based on popularity. So we'll again calculate popularity for the entire data set, including the previous set we calculated for popularity, or should we be using the same popularity set we created for the 3.3 question?
Okay, what you do is in 3.3, first you calculate popularity, and then you filter the data for 4.4 between the 4 and 5, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So if you do that, you have done it for entire data set.
Yeah.
Right? Now you have popularity as a new column in your data set, in your data frame.
Yes. Yes.
Right? So and that same column, you can use it again in 5.1.
Yeah, so got it. So instead of filtering first and then calculating popularity, if we calculate popularity first and then filter, then we can use the same thing for both.
Yes, then you can avoid doing the redoing of the same thing again and again.
Got it. Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let me check with your another question. Popularity was calculated only so far.
Yeah. So 5.2 question that just said on rating of the app, and he in the brackets it said categorical value. So we have a lot of ratings and a lot of categorical values.
Just okay. Let me open the project. All right. Let me open the project. Now question number 5, popularity, then rating of each app. See, in question number 5.1, what you're doing is popularity in each genre. So you will be grouping by genre and taking the mean of the popularity, right?
Yeah, that is
because they are
fine.
saying central tendency.
Yeah, that
right?
is fine.
Okay. In question number 5.2, rating of app in each genre. All right. Now, rating of each app. Since it is not saying rating of current app, so you can go ahead and take the rating of the entire app. So there are two ratings, right? As far as I remember.
Yes, user rating and content rating.
No, content rating is different. Content rating is whether it is 18 plus or 12 plus, whether it is right. I'm talking about two different ratings. Just let me.
So there is user rating and user rating underscore var.
User rating underscore var. Underscore var is for the current version.
Yeah.
And the other one is for the entire, for all the versions together. So you will be using for all the versions together.
Got it. Perfect.
Fine. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
And just let me check. Any other question from your end?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. These are the 3 questions.
Okay. Now, can you mute yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. Kirti, ma'am, in question number 3.3, popularity is used for rating. Should be more than 4 and 5 in question. So, Kirti, again, same answer for you. First, you calculate popularity by multiplying those two columns, and then you filter so that you can use that popularity column again in 5.1. All right. So I think Kirti had the same question. Ajit, as per question 3.3, popularity is equal to rating count total into user ratings. Yes, Ajit, again, same thing. Do the multiplication first so that you can use that column in question number 5 in task 5, and then filter it out for 3.3. Okay, Deepika is audible. Something I think problem was with my headphones. Okay. All right. Rohit, now add a new popularity, which is a product. No, Rohit. In question number 5.5, you will not consider the user ratings only 4 and 5. You will consider all the user ratings. Since does not say explicitly 4 and 5, it means the mean of all the ratings. So for Y genre, you're going to calculate mean of all the ratings. Okay. Regarding question number 6, Ashish, I think that is the video question, right? Regarding question number 6, the video question, number 1, whatever the code you have written, you have to explain that code and all the logic behind that code. Okay. So entire walkthrough of all your questions, what you have done and why you have done, or is there anything you need to explain? Okay, I'll come to your question, Vandana. Let me answer question, Ashish question for task 6. All right. Make sure your video does not exceed 10 to 12 minutes, because I was getting videos of 40, 45 and 30 minutes. I'm not going to listen them for 30, 45 minutes. After 12 minutes of I'm going to cut off. So whatever you have explained till that point, I'm going to mark you on that, because I cannot spend 45 minutes on listening to one video and then spending half an hour to check on that question. And if I have to check 120 projects in 3 days. So specifically make sure your videos do not go beyond 10 minutes. Okay. And regarding the question, you need to explain entire walkthrough of your code. Okay, entire from end to end. Explain the steps, what you have taken, explain the logic, what you have taken. And in the end, make sure you have recommendations. You have to recommend how to improve in-app, how to increase revenue from the in-app advertising. You need to recommend apps where in-app advertising can be increased, and you should base your recommendations based on whatever analysis. See, whenever you are doing any analysis, data analysis in industry, there's some kind of recommendation, some kind of a result at the end which you present to your manager. That boss, see, I have analyzed this entire data, and based on that, I have come to these conclusions. Now, what are your conclusions? That should be conclusions or recommendations that should be pointed out very specifically. All right. I hope I got through, Ashish. Okay. And please don't expect कि मैम मैंने तो सब explain कर दिया, so recommendations is somewhere in between. Find yourself. I'm not going to do that unless and until in the end of clear cut. These are my recommendations. You're not going to get score for that part. Okay. Vandana wants 5.2 again. Okay. See, Vandana, 5.2. Let me put the question for you guys. 5.2. All right, 5.2 question. 5.2 says rating of apps on each genre. So rating of the apps for each genre means you're grouping by genre. Okay. Second, when you're using rating, it is not specifically asking rating for the current version. It is asking rating for all the version of the app. So you're not going to use the one with the underscore var. You're going to use the rating which is represented by for all the versions. Second thing, this is something I also clarified myself. The rating is a cardinal value. That means it is not continuous. It is either 4, 4.5, 5, 3.5, 3. Cardinal values are something which are discrete values and not continuous. So like your grades in your is like A plus, B plus, B minus. They're not continuous, all right? Or something like that. So discrete values are there. And there is no, like integers. Integers are 5, 6, 7. There is nothing between 5 and 6. But whereas when you think of floats are like 5.1, 5.2, and 5.111. Continuous values are there. So since it is a discrete value, instead of mean, you're going to take median. So instead of dot mean, you're going to call dot median. So it will be calculated. The reason for this is, say, I want to calculate the central tendency of salaries of all the people in this meeting, right? Now, since we all might be, say, on a similar experience level and similar salaries, so we will get some value, right? But suppose somebody who is like, Mukesh Ambani joins this meeting. Suddenly, if I'm taking the mean will be shifted to a higher side. Okay, the mean will be shifted to a higher side, but the median will be shifted by just one person. So a median would be representing a more accurate value than a mean for this entire group. Okay, so in this way, that is why median is being taken there. All right, Shama says in question 1.4, do we need to calculate as average calculation or just use the functionality of mean column? Just let me check. Shama, what is question number 4? 1.4. Okay, Shama, there are multiple ways of getting this answer. Find the average price of an app considering only paid apps. So what you have to do is, in the previous questions, you have created a list of prices of all the apps. All right. Now, only you will consider those are paid apps. That means that has price greater than 0 or not equal to 0, whatever is your choice of condition is. And then either you can use mean function or you can sum them up and divide by the total number of paid apps. So there are 3-4 ways to calculate that average value. So the average value will be a singular value that will be the mean of all the prices of the paid app. Okay, so you can take any route you like, whatever you're comfortable is. Rekha, you might not be able to submit 2 videos because there is a single link and only one video can be uploaded. So I think you can clarify this with your upgrade buddy because you are going to upload it in the upgrade. You can drop the question, but as far as I know, only 10-minute single video is allowed. Ashish is asking, how do you arrive at your recommendation? See, recommendation is whatever your analysis is, you know, what are those popular apps is there, what are the genre which are popular, you know, which genres are having highest user rating or which genres are, you know, based on that you realize, okay, more and how do I increase my in-app advertising revenue, where there I get more customers, where more customers are seeing my advertisement, so there are chances there are more customer clicking on in-app advertising and going to my site, so that my revenue is increased. So something you might have studied in digital marketing, okay, so or in a marketing paper, how do you know, earn money from in-app revenue. So basically you need to identify what are those popular genres, what are those popular genres with higher user ratings, which are those apps with higher user ratings or apps with more number of downloads. So these are the apps which are popular, which has more customers. So those are the apps where in-app advertisements can, in-app advertisement, I hope you understand, means advertisements which you give when you are running an app, and when if the people is interested, they click on app, they go to that site and they probably buy something. Say Flipkart ad pops up on a WhatsApp and you click Flipkart ad and you go to Flipkart site and buy something, or even if you open it, Flipkart has to pay money to the app where the from where it has been clicked. Okay, so that is how you're going to increase your revenue. Ashish and Rohit, I think I've answered your question. Recommendations are individual. It is based on how you perceive, how you analyze your data. So the technical part is over. Okay, now your recommendation is your individual analysis of the data. Some might think giving more advertisement in popular apps will bring in more revenue. Some might think apps with the higher user rating will bring in more revenue, or some might want to use both the features to bring in the more revenue. Now it's up to your individual. How do you come to your conclusions and recommendations? Manas is saying recommendation and how do you arrive? Yes, Manas, see, you will give your recommendations. These are my recommendations. These are the genres or these are the apps where you can put in more in-app advertising for more revenue. And yes, of course, how you arrive them, basically, whatever the task you have done in 1 to 5, right? You will derive your answer from them only. So based on the analysis done in task XYZ, say 5.4, I arrive at this conclusion. Based on the analysis done in this, I arrived at this conclusion or this recommendation. So you can do this way also. Not very long, but a short explanation would do enough. Okay, Deepika, can you clear a doubt regarding question 1.3? Yes, please. Deepika, what's your doubt in 1.3? Let me read question. Initialize a list that contains data regarding price of all apps. Okay, Deepika, this is simple. If you remember in the very first class of pandas, I told you that each individual column of a data frame is a series, all right? So you can use that individual column series toList function to convert that into an independent Python list, okay? Or you can use data frame dot values dot toList function to convert that column into a Python list. Or you can use Python list function and pass that column as an argument to get your list. So there are 3 or 4 ways in which you can convert a column in a data frame to a Python list. So that is your question number 1.3. I hope that is what you are asking. I think I have explained recommendation. So there is no problem now. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Parvez, 5.2. Rating of apps in each genre. Parvez, I explained to you, and it has also been mentioned in your project now. Earlier it was not there, that ratings of the app is being defined as a categorical value. That means discrete values. 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5. And there is nothing in between them. Okay, see, these are discrete values. And that is why they have specifically asked for you to go for median instead of mean. Although it looks like a numerical value, and you feel that mean would be more appropriate, but since it has been defined as a categorical and not continuous or ordinal value, so you should go for median. Yes, Ashish, last 1 or 2 minutes would more than sufficient. I think that will be good. Vandana, thanks. Okay, welcome, Peter. Nishita. Nishita, no graphs are required in your project. No plots are required. No, in case because plotting is optional here. It will not be in your TE. It is not plotted for projects. So if you want to do it, no problem. There won't be any extra marks for you, and it is not required at all. Manas saying 4.4 and 4.5 error key free. Just a second. Manas, can I unmute you so that you can explain me your error? Okay, Manas, you can unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yeah, Manas, I can hear you loud and clear.
Great. Ma'am, in 4.4, it says that and add another column to this data frame named total, which I'm doing, wherein, let me open my code once. So here, what it says as an error key is free, wherein I'm using the free as in everywhere. So still I'm getting the same error.
Just a second. You won't be able to share your screen.
No.
Okay. Which question is what is the number
4.4.
of tabs?
4.4 and 4.5.
4.5. Add another column, total, which contains the total number of apps in each genre. So question number 4, Manas, is actually asking you to create a pivot table.
which I have already created in 4.3.
You have used pivot table in that, because pivot table is something I wanted to do today. So
No,
as soon as
I did it from async, so I have done it in 4.3. 4.3, I have created a pivot table.
You have created a pivot table. Good.
Yes.
Okay. So once you have created your pivot table, then you have to add a new column, right?
Right. After free and paid, there will be a new column named in as total.
Right.
So it will be total is equal to free plus paid, I suppose.
Just a second. So it will be, say, whatever the data frame you have created, square brackets, total in quotes, equal to, same way, the data frame name, square brackets, free, and then same way paid.
Right. So I'm doing the same way, but I'm getting the error key, which is free.
Okay. Can you please paste that line of code on the chat?
I already did.
Just a second. Okay.
Just a second. Let me paste that again to you.
Yeah, please paste it. Let me see at the end. So there are a lot of chats, so it might.
I just did.
Yes, subscription total, free plus paid. There is, okay. Yeah, that is perfectly fine. There should not be any error. It is saying getting an error key. Okay. Do one thing, say subscription dot columns and see what are the column names.
Subscription.column, it says multi-index object is not callable.
Multi-index. Okay, so what has happened, Manas, is that you have not created a data frame while doing a something is wrong with your pivot table.
I have created a data frame. While defining the column, I have kept it as a data frame. I have kept it in the square brackets. The column has been kept in the square brackets. So I think that is...
Okay. It should be. Can you please paste your code for your pivot table? Let me check that one also. Because as for this is correct code. PD pivot table, data apps, index prime genre, column. So see, in this, there is no free and paid. That is why it is not recognizing free and paid columns. Okay, so that needs to be done. Okay, so it should be like
this is the output that I'm getting for pivot table, as I just shared.
No, there is some. Okay. So I'm just comparing with the code you should write. So you should write PD. You have written PD.pivot table data apps. Okay. Index, you have written primary genre, column subscription. Okay. Now you are doing an aggregation function, subscription on subscription, or you should do it on ID. You should calculate total number of IDs, right? Have you created a new subscription column which is saying free and paid?
Yes.
You have created that. So when you say subscription has become the column of your previous data frames app, right?
Yes.
A new column in your which is having value frees and paids. Right. So now when you are doing an aggregation function, the aggregation function should be on subscription, it should be on ID. Because you need to calculate count the number of apps which is free and count the number of apps which are paid based on the primary genre. So it will be something like this. Instead of till your columns, it is right. But after columns, let me paste it on. It will something like this. ID. Can you see the answer? So
Yes,
value,
I can.
ID, aggregation. So aggregation would be on ID instead of subscription. Then you sort it on free and paid, whatever you like. And in ascending order false, you will have a separate columns free and paid. That should do the work. Okay.
I will check it and let you know.
Yes, check it. In case you have problem, what you can do is you post it on the group and ask your buddy to pass on the question to me, and I can answer them through them to you.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Deepika ma'am, I raised it. Do we have to add price only your app names? Deepika, only the price. When you am saying only the price, because you need to calculate the mean of all the prices. So you just need one value. You don't need the name of apps. Ma'am, doubt is Deepika, let me unmute you so that you can clarify your doubt. Okay. Okay, Deepika, I have allowed you to talk. Can you please unmute and ask your question?
Hello, ma'am. Now it's clear. Actually, the doubt was regarding, do we have to add the app names also along with the price, or just the app? I mean, just the prices, because adding just the prices doesn't make any sense. It was just the list. So that's why I wanted to ask, do we have to mention the app name as well or not? So
Frankly speaking, Deepika, I did also ask why a separate list is required for the price. It can be directly done from the mean value can be directly calculated using the data frame column. But since they wanted you to know how to convert a column to a list, so that is why this question was added. Otherwise, you can directly get the values from the columns also, directly from the data frame column values also. Okay. So if you want to just calculate the mean, you can calculate directly from the value. But then, the guys who created this project assignment, they said they wanted to know whether the learner knows how to convert a column to a list. So that is why this question was added. Okay. So that is why you just need to create a list. Make sure, because that carries a separate score.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Now, okay. Okay, Kirti, thank you, ma'am. I've got it. Kirti, we can arrive at the out. Yes. Kirti, I have ensured and I have talked to the person who have created the assignment. Although he suggested only one way, there are many options, and I got his permission that in case a learner is using different ways to arrive at the same answer, there are multiple ways of doing things. You cannot always do in the same way. So you will be getting your score as long as you're doing what is being asked for. Nishita, thanks. Yes. Hitesh, for the trial test on the metal, I cannot do anything on that. You need to check up with your upgrad buddy. As far as I know, there is a demo question that has been uploaded previously, and that demo question is being shared with you about a day or two before, so that you guys get a practice. In case that doesn't pop up on from your upgrad buddy, what you can do is ask them to give you a demo, give you a trial test. Okay, there is a demo question, I'm sure of it, on the metal platform for you guys to get hang on how to do coding on the metal platform. That is, I'm sure. So in case you need that practice and your upgrad buddy doesn't pop up with that, you can ask him for that. All right. Pivot table, Hitesh, wait for a few minutes. I'm going to do pivot table with you guys today, so that you can ask your pivot table question at that time. Okay. You can rename the value. Manas, you can try it and let me know in case it doesn't work. Through your upgrade buddy, you can email. I'll get an email regarding your questions, so I can answer that. We need to know how to access dataset from Metal platform. Hitesh, your Metal platform does not have, capability for me to load a data set so that you can do the coding. What I will do is I'll create a small data set. I'll write down the entire data set as a data frame on the code, and then you can work from there. Okay, you can see the entire data. It will be just like, remember Cricket Academy, that kind of small data set I will be working with you guys. Okay. Kirti is asking, ma'am, 1.4 I did directly, but yes, Kirti, 1.4 you need to create a list because there is a separate marks for you to create a list. If you do directly, you will lose out on the marks where your capability to convert column to list is being checked. Although you will get marks that you calculate mean correctly, but you will lose marks on the step where you have to convert the column to the list. So please don't do it directly. If they asked you to create a list, then please create a list. Shama, I cannot say whether it contains a pivot table or not. I have not created the question paper yet. So it might not contain, but I don't have so much data. I won't be having such a big data that pivot table is possible. Yes, Manas, that could be a question. You can just try it out now. Otherwise, you can ask me at the end of the class. Okay, Hitesh. All right, so I think we're done with the questions. Any more questions? Any more doubts? So I can start with my class today. Any more doubts? You can pop it up. So I'm just closing my chat so that I can see the whole screen now. All right, there are some questions on Q&A. Abhinav. Abhinav, are these the same questions you asked me in the chat? Okay, so I have answered it. Done. Asha, I am struggling with Lambda function. Can you explain? Yes, Asha, Lambda function is in my agenda today. So I'll be dealing with Lambda function today with you. Okay, pivot table, Lambda function, and cleanup of data. That is the three major things I'm going to do before we switch on to the visualization. I'll be doing that. Okay, done. So, okay. Now let's start. Okay, some few more questions. No, all right, that's done. All you guys can see my pivot table code now. Okay. Now, what is a pivot table? Anyone can tell me what is a pivot table? You might have done in your Excel class. Shreya, no, data visualization, say creating of graphs and plots and charts is not part of TE. But in async content, in introduction to visualization, initially they have dealt with the cleaning up of data and sanitizing the data. That is the part of your TE and your project also. So introduction to data visualization, a part of it, till they have reached of plotting of graphs is part of your TE. But after they have started with the plotting of charts and graphs, that is not part of your TE. Yes, Vishwadip is saying it is a summary. So basically, when you are dealing with pivot table, it is way to summarize your numerical data based on certain categorical variables. Categorical, like say primary genre is your categorical variable which cannot be compared. For comparing any primary genre, you will be either using popularity index or you will be using user rating. Or in this case, if I need to compare the teams, I will compare their wins, whether they are winning team or they are more scoring team or they are much better bowling team. All right. So I will compare their categories, different teams or different seasons or different venues based on certain other columns, which are numerical columns. All right. So to compare those columns or compare those features, a pivot table can be created. Now we can compare, we merged the data set and compared by grouping them in using two features and aggregating on two different features and creating more and more complex code out here. So we can simplifying it by using a pivot table. So let's see what is actually a pivot table. So if I say Shift tab, so you can see this is the syntax for your pivot table, where you have data, that means on which data set you want to create a pivot table. Index is a column, row headers, columns, which columns you want, what aggregation function you want to use, and whether you want to use not null function, null values or not. All right, drop NA and so forth, so and so forth. So let's see how we are going to create a pivot table. Okay, so we have data. So I'm using a merge data set, which is the merger of your IPL matches and delivery. And on column, on row headers, I'm going to use season. Season is different years in which the matches were played. And the columns I'm going to use are batting team. All right, batting team. So on my column headers would be batting team. And the values, I'm going to use the total runs. So when I'm going to execute this code, what I'm going to get is in each season. So my batting team was, season was my row header or index. So if I want row headers, whatever row headers I want, I will use that particular column as index. Whatever column headers I want, I'm going to use it as columns. And whatever value, say I want to calculate mean of the total runs. So I'll just say mean, and I will know what values they have used. Okay, or I can use the total sum to get the total value. So Chennai Super Kings in 2008 totaled, they have scored 2,520 runs, whereas Delhi Capital NAN, Delhi Devils 2,118. Gujarat Lions was not there till that time. Punjab in 2008 scored 2,464 runs, so forth. So we have a lot of NANs out here. The NANs are here because these teams were not present in those particular year. These teams have not played in those particular year, so there are no values for them. Okay, any question in pivoting? Now, if you want to change the name, you can use it rename. I'm going to show it to you today. Okay. Columns and values. How columns and values could be same, Vishwadeep? Because column would be categorical and values will be numerical. So on values, you need to apply some aggregate function. Okay. So columns and values cannot be same. See, if I say here total runs, columns as total runs, will it make any sense out here? No, right? And if I say values as batting team, will it make, what I can do with your batting team? I cannot sum them because it is a, a string data, right? So, your columns and index, your row headers and column headers will have to be categoricals. That means distinct values, your grades, your primary genre, your team names, your seasons, which cannot be, and your values would be some numerical like user ratings, size, total runs, batting runs, extra runs, anything like that, where you can apply your any kind of aggregation function. Okay. All right. Now this is pivot table. Now suppose, now when we started off, we converted a CSV to a data frame. What if you want to convert a data frame to a CSV? You're just going to use the name of the data frame, 2_CSV, the name of file, and I'm saying index to be false because I don't want any indexing, so that when I'm loading, it does not create a new column. I don't want index columns to be saved. So this is how I'm going to, let me execute it. What's the date today? 9th July. So let me create a one, something like 0907, and I execute it, and then you can see here a new CSV file was created using 0907. So here, let me execute it. So here is the data. Okay, the entire data. So I've converted my data frame into merged data set into a CSV file. All right. So this is about pivot table and saving. Now let's move to tasks, data loading and analyzing. So ma'am, can you check the column names for pivot result? Okay, column names. These column names are my batting team. So Hitesh, let me unmute you so that you can, clarify your question. Okay, Hitesh, can you unmute yourself? Yeah.
Yes,
Hitesh.
ma'am. Yes.
Yes, please ask your question. Let me get a clear idea what you want to ask.
Yeah. So, ma'am, when you created the pivot table, can you check the columns for the resulting table? Like if you can save the resulting data frame into a variable and then do the dot columns operation on it, and just see what are the column names that come up, because when we were trying it in the project, the pivot was not creating the column names as expected, like free or paid. It was creating some multi-index, right?
Okay. So you were not getting free and paid in that. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just let me check. Let me check in the code I have done for the project. I am getting something like this when I'm running a columns. Let me post it in chat. So once I've done my pivot table, and in pivot table, I created my new columns, that is total, and then I created percentage for free and percentage for paid. And then I checked on columns. This is the output I'm getting. Are you getting that same output?
No, it was different. So you are getting the column names correctly.
Right. So I think what you guys, this is something I did for yes, I'm not sharing screen right now because I'm seeing the solution of the project, which I cannot show it to you because you have to do it. I'm just answering the question and answer. So this is how I'm getting a total. So this is same as what Manas shared, I think. And I think the code for your pivot table, you can do it this way. Is there something different you are doing? Let me know.
Okay, yeah, I'll check with this one. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, this is something you need to do for your pivot table. So what you have, the mistake, what Manas did was the aggregation function was applied on subscription instead of ID. So what happened is it totaled the subscription. All right, it tried to do total on the subscription instead of ID. You need to do it on ID because it need to count how many free apps and how many paid apps genre wise. Okay.
Okay, I think yeah, I also have done total counts of subscription. So but it was showing the total number of free and total number of paid that way also.
Okay, then I think there will be something different. So I'm just
Yeah.
showing a bit of head of my data. See, it will something like that you are getting.
Yeah, I think the output is the same, but because we used subscription
Subscription. Yes.
for
Yes.
the counts as well as for columns, maybe that is what messed up the
Yes,
name
that
of
might be
the.
the reason. That might
Yeah.
be the reason. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
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 Thank you.
All right. There was some question, Manas. No, Manas, change the aggregation to ID, not on subscription. I think that is the reason that you're not getting. Abhinav, fine. Deepika, I'm not getting any output when running this function. Which function, Deepika? Index. This is an output. This is an output when I'm saying whatever the pivot table I've used to check what are the columns of my pivot table. It's not a function. So Deepika, don't get confused. Okay, Manas is getting. Deepika, you can unmute and ask which function you were trying to run.
Ma'am, this pivot table, this function on 69th created. So I'm typing the same code, but it's not giving me any output.
Okay. See, this line of code will not show you any output. After that, you write this name separately, then it will print the output of your pivot table.
Okay, understood.
Understood? This is just an assignment, right? And I have not even pasted the complete code. The end code, false and close the bracket. Okay.
Okay.
So you will, and then since this is assignment, so you'll again write print bracket the name of the pivot table or just the name of the pivot table. You will get the output.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Okay, Vandana, why you are using, Vandana has posted on Q&A that she's using aggregation on size to count the apps. Why on size, Vandana? It will add up all the sizes of the, and what function? See, you are using size column, but what function on size? If you say sum, it will add up all the sizes of the apps. So you need to count the number of apps, and ID is the best thing. You cannot count the size. It will add up all the, yes. See, one app is your 2 MB, second app is of 3 MB. So when you do sum, it will make it 5. So that is wrong. You need to count. If there are, say, social media, one is Facebook, one is Twitter, one is Snapchat, so it will count, okay, count the number of these apps. So there are 4 apps in social media, so that can be used as ID because ID is a unique value. I hope you got it, Vandana. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Any question? Okay. So let's get back to the visualization now. Okay. Now, when we are talking about visualization, see, whatever the data analysis we have done till now, we have done on the raw data. We did not check whether there were any null values or whether any data was wrong. See, there can be so many cases where the data could be wrong. Number one, suppose they have written team 1 as Chennai, team 2 as Mumbai, and they have written winner as Rajasthan. So is it possible that Mumbai and Chennai are playing and Rajasthan is a winner? So that is the sanctity of the data. We need to check whether the data is, correct, makes sense or not. First, we will check whether there are any null values and how can we handle the null values. If there are too much null values, we can drop those columns. And if there are a lesser number of null values, can we provide any default value so that it does not hamper our analysis? All right. Then we will check whether there is no nonsense data is there, no data which does not make sense, like team 1 is Chennai, team 2 is Mumbai, and the winner is Rajasthan. All right. So that kind of data is not there, or no. So there are many things. Then we will do some kind of outlier analysis with box plot. Outlier analysis is basically, outliers are those values which is out of range. For example, the example I gave you initially for calculating median instead of mean, say all of us may be on the same salary structure, right? Now, if Mukesh Ambani is an outlier, if he joins the group, his salary is outlier for us because that is way, way beyond our salary. So the mean of our salary would be some value, but if Mukesh Ambani joins our group, so this mean would be raised to a very high side, which will not represent the actual mean of that group. Size compute group sizes so that size aggregate function. Okay, fine. You are doing using a function size. Okay, but on what column? But on what column? See, you need to define a column on which the aggregation function is defined. Okay, so if you're defining size as an aggregation of subscription, I have not tested that function. I have checked a couple of it. Subscription is the column. So are you are getting a correct answer, Vandana? Okay, if you're getting a correct answer, then it's fine. In case you're getting the correct pivot table, then you can use that also, because alternate solutions are acceptable. I have not checked for this alternate solution. So when I get your project, I'll check for this alternate solution. If you're getting a correct one, are you able to do total and percentage values also? Totaling, yes. Then fine. Then this answer is acceptable. Then there won't be any problem. I thought size, you are using the data column, size data column. That is why my confusion was. So if you're using that one, that is why I was asking. Okay, cool, fine. Okay, done. Okay. So these are some, and then let's see if we have some time to draw some histograms or pivot table, pie charts and line charts today itself. Okay. So to start with our okay, guys, I've got the response from my coordinator that your upgrad buddy has some major medical emergency at home, so he won't be able to answer you right now, or whatever, something has happened. So my coordinator will coordinate with the other team members and will try to send you the data and the codes. So your current upgrad buddy, he has some medical emergency, so we cannot disturb him. That would be nice. So let's wait some other person to join in and take over his work. All right. So somebody else will, help you guys out. My coordinator will ensure somebody will be there to do this. Ashish, let me check if I can do it directly here. Because Ashish, somebody told me you can do it on chat, but I don't see on chat, although I am a panelist, I don't see I can do an attachment. Sorry, Ashish, I cannot send you direct mail. That is not, that is a part of policy that I cannot send you a direct mail. Okay, so let Pranay join in. He's a moderator for this meeting and I'll ask him. So allow me to, do some attachments here in the chat, and you can download it from the chat. If attachment is possible in the chat, let Pranay join it for the feedback and we can ask him to do that. Okay. All right. So let's start with our cleaning up of the data today. So simply we are going to import our two libraries, numpys and pandas, and I rated my matches CSV, same way, head and something. This is something same. So let me execute it so that I have my data in the memory. So this is same, right? This is same as we have done before. Now let's start with the cleaning of the data. Now you see there are 18 columns out here from ID to Empire 3. Now till date, whatever analysis we have done, we have not used once Empire 1, 2 and 3. So these 3 columns are not required for my data analysis. All right. So these 3 columns are not required for my data analysis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the data as they are not required for my analysis. So let's do this. So these are my columns. Currently, I'm having umpire 1, 2, and 3. So what I'm going to do is my data frame name, drop function. And if I have one column, I can give directly. And if I have more than one column, I'm going to do in as a form of list. All right, in quote separated by comma. Now there is something called as in place equal to true. If I say in place equal to true, the changes will be made in my original data frame. Now guys, one thing you have to ensure, whatever code, whatever drop or delete you are doing on your data frame, and you say in place equal to true, it is going to do it in your original data frame, and there is no undo. There is no undo. You cannot roll it back. एक बार जो कर दिया वो वापस नहीं होगा. In case you have done something by mistake, you have to reload your data from your CSV and execute all your commands again to reach that stage. You have to redo everything. There is no undo. That is one thing you need to, make sure clear. There is no undo here, only redo. Okay. So once I have dropped the columns and I again check it, I don't have my empires now. All right. That data is lost. Although it is there in my original CSV, but in my current data frame, there is no more. Now incorrect data. Now let me see. There is city. Okay, we have a city column out here, and I'm executing. You need to check whether there is any repetition of value or not. So please go through the output and tell me what is wrong with the values of city. Can somebody point out what is wrong with the value of city? What are the discrepancies? Okay, Kumar is saying Bangalore. There is a NaN value, Deepika, right? Kumar, what is wrong with Bangalore and Bangalore? Right. So, since Bangalore name was changed to Bangalore, so in some matches the data has been entered for Bangalore, and in some matches the data has been entered for Bangalore. So this is one incorrect data in our data value. Also, as Deepika and Vandana and Manas are pointing out, there is a NaN value, that means some missing values. So currently we are handling incorrect data. We will handle Bangalore and Bangalore, and we will handle NaN when we will handle our in the next step when we are handling our null values. Okay. So now what we have to, so since the latest name is Bengaluru, so what we will do, we will replace the value Bangalore with Bengaluru, so that in case we are doing any kind of grouping on city, any analysis on city, Bangalore and Bengaluru data are collated. Okay. Now also let's see what discrepancies we have in the team names. All right. These are the team names. Now tell me what are the discrepancies. These discrepancies can only be pointed out with the people who have been, fan of IPL matches. Please go through the names and tell me what are the issues with the team names. Pune, okay. Vishwadeep and Manmeet, what is the issue with the Pune? Okay, to dropping, all right, yes, Manas, I can show you. See, it is just data frame name, drop, columns equal to the list of columns, and in place equal to true. Manas, I'm posting you for you on the chat. Okay. All right. Ashish, Rekha, and Manmeet. All right. Okay, you are pointing out one discrepancy, that Rising Super Pune Giant and Rising Pune Super Giants. Two names. Okay, these two names have one S. Is there any other discrepancy? Yes, Manmeet is pointing. Deccan and Hyderabad. See, Deccan Chargers and Sunriser Hyderabad is one and the same team representing Hyderabad city. So these two are also the same. Aishwarya is right. Delhi Capitals and Delhi Daredevils are same. Okay, good. So we have pointed out 3 discrepancies in teams. So now we have to make sure Delhi Daredevils and Delhi Capitals are same teams. Deccan Chargers and Sunriser Hyderabad is same. Rising Pune Super Giant and Super Giants are same. And Pune Warriors are same. Right. Manmeet, I was looking for this answer only. So these 3 are same. So can you tell me what is the latest name for these? Whether Sunriser Hyderabad is latest or Deccan Charger is latest? Which is the new name? See, this is only when you can are watching IPL teams. And which one? Sunriser. Okay, Sunriser. And what about Pune? Which one is the latest name? If you're watching IPL matches, you will be able to tell me. So this is where your domain knowledge come into being. If you're a finance person, you will be able to tell. So no Pune team exists now, but what was the last name of the Pune team? Do we get extra marks for class engagement? No, Manmeet, there is no extra marks for class engagement. The only thing is you learn more when you are asking your queries and you are engaging in the class. You are much more confident of your, whether you have learned or not. Rising Pune. Okay. And what about Delhi? Delhi Daredevils or Delhi Capital, which is the latest name? Okay. All right. Now, another question I'm going to ask you, which all columns have team names? We have now 13 columns, 13, 14 columns. On which all columns do I have to change the team names? What all columns do I have to execute team names? We have to change team names. City, for city, there is only one column where all the team names are there. What all columns team names are there? Team 1, team 2, toss winner, and one more column. Not result, Shama, not result, winner, right. So there are 4 columns. One is right, winner. So now team 1, team 2, toss winner, and winner. All these 4 columns contains the data for team names. So we know that we have to change one city, Bangalore to Bangalore. Null value we will handle later. We have this issue to settle. So now we have to change Pune Warriors, Rising Supergiant, all are representing Pune. So we are going to change it to the 1. Capitals to Delhi are representing. So we are going to change it to 1. So this is how we are going to do. We are going to use the replace function. So this is a replace function. I hope you guys can see the syntax. So I'm going to use my data frame name, the name of the column where I'm going to change the value. Okay. So I'm going to run it for team 1. I'm going to run it for team 2. I'm going to run it for winner, and I'm going to run it for toss winner. So that how you're getting this suggestion, shift tab. You just write, you write the data frame name, a column, you write the function, and before putting the brackets, use shift tab. Okay. And then you can expand it. So you can have your details, your documentation help here. No, Rohit, shift tab won't be available during TE. It won't be available during TE. Okay. All right. So now you need to identify what values to be replaced. So there are multiple ways to do that. You can do it as a string, you can do it as list. The most easiest I find is dictionary. Okay. In dictionary, you can identify what value is to be replaced by what value. Say, let me show it to you directly here. Now I'm going to replace team 1 in the column team 1, super giants with super giant, devils with capitals, Pune warrior again with super giant, and Deccan charger with Sunrise Hyderabad. I'm going to put this entire code in the chat so that you all guys can see it in one go. You guys can copy this and put it on your notepad or wherever so that you can see it in one go. All right, because here it is being scrolling and it is tough. So if you see on chat, I'm replacing giants S1 without S, DD with DC, Pune Warriors with Rising Pune Giant, whichever the latest name I could find on Wikipedia, whatever the name was latest, and Decade Chargers with the Sunrisers. And I'm saying in place to be true so that it is replaced in my original data frame. Now, same thing, I just copy and pasted doing for team 2, toss winner and winner. So you guys can go ahead and do it if you are doing it along with me. And for the city, you can clearly see I'm just doing Bangalore. So it's a dictionary and the key and the value. So whatever the value needs to be changed and the new value. Any doubt with the replace, let me know. Any doubt with the replace, let me know. Okay. Can I go ahead now? Okay. So whether my replacement was successful, I can check by putting a unique. Manmeet, I have not tried multiple columns together. I don't think so you can do it. I would prefer doing it one by one because every column would have a different kind of, since here it is a unique case where your 4 columns have similar data, but usually the case would be individual columns only you have to do it. Okay, it is better to do it individual columns. If you want to do it, you can try, you put IPL matches, then square boxes, team 1, team 2, toss winner in the as a list, and dot replace, and this it should be, you should be able to do it. I have not done it, I've not tried it. So what you are asking is like this. So what you should be able to do is like this. It should work. I have not tried it. You can try if it works. If you do in place equal to false, it will not do it in the original one. then in that case, you have to do assignment and assign it to a, Manas is asking, what if I don't want to make changes in the original data set? Manas, in case you don't want to do it on original data set, what you have to do is you put in place equal to false, and then you do assignment and assign it to a new data frame. Okay, unless you assign it to a new data frame, whatever changes you have done, it was done, but it was not stored. So either in place into this true, make the changes in the original data set, and if you want to do in place equal to false, you assign it to a new data frame. That is also good. You put it in a new data frame, so you have your original data set is intact. So in case of a problem, you don't reload your CSV, you can work on your original data set. So simply do an assignment and get your answer in the two data frame. Okay. Manmeet, I hope I have answered your question. All right. So this is a way you can do it. It should work. I have not tried it. All right. Okay. Now let's say, so now we have replaced. So let's check. So all your Sunriser Hyderabad has been gone. There is only one Daredevil and there is no, okay, capitals was not done. Okay. Why the capital is there? Okay, I did not execute this code, I guess. Yes, I did not execute the replace code. That is why I was still getting. Now I have a clean team names and I have a clean city name. So there is only Bangalore and there is no Bangalore. We still have NaN to deal with. So now let's deal with NaN, all the null values. Okay, so we have dealt with incorrect data. So there might be a lot of incorrect data. You have to check. You must ensure what all kind of incorrect data that can happen. Now let's check for the null values. Now there is a function called as isNA or isNull. Both will give you the same answer. So it will check for the null values in our data set and sum it up. So when I execute it, there is no null values in ID or season, but yes, city there were 7. If you remember, if you run, remember when we have done the info, we remember city was 749. So we knew that there was some null data out here. And there was 752 winners and 752 players of matches. So we knew there were some null values and which has been verified when we ran isNA. So 7 out here, 4 out here, and 4 out here. So if you want total number of null values in an entire data set, we add one more sum function. So we have 15. So now we have to deal with these 15 null values. Now, okay. Now, how do we deal with these null values? First of all, we need to identify those rows which we have these null values. Okay, you need to identify the rows where you have these null values. So how do we identify those rows? Here, what I'm saying is NA will give me the null values. All right. I'm asking to create a new data frame which are of null values with only those rows where any of the column, any of the x is equal to 1 means columns. That means any of the columns. So what is going to check? It is going to check column wise. As soon as it hits a null value, not a number value, a blank value on a column, it will transfer that particular row to my, it will, copy that particular row to my new data frame. Okay. So here I'm going to identify all those rows where any of my column, yes, Vishwadeep I used sum and Deepika I used sum twice. When I used it once, isNA sum, it gave me column wise. There are 7, right? When I used it once, Deepika and Vishwadeep are asking why I used sum twice. So I'm going to answer that question. IPL matches isNA. It will identify how whether the column has a null value or not. By using sum once, it will give me column wise 7 here, 4 here, 4 here. Okay. When I added one more sum, it will add these values 7 plus 4 plus 4. So it is telling me there are 15 null values in my entire data set. So it is basically adding these values. Okay, done. All right. Now I have identified all those rows, and then I'm using a function highlight null. Okay, I'm using function highlight from the module style. I can give any color I want. Okay, so see what happens here. So what it has done, using my is any x is equal to 1, I've identified all those rows which has null value in either of the column, and using styling, I've highlighted those nans. Okay, using styling, I have highlighted those nans. So I have 4 nans in winner and player of the match, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the same row, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the city. Okay, now let's deal with them, these nan values one by one. Now, when you see the city with the nan, can you identify the city by seeing the values of the column in any other column? Can you identify what city will be there by seeing the values in any other column? See if you can find what city these match was played. Yes, Rohit is right. Dubai. Okay, how did Rohit got this answer? See, when I see city, NAN, so 461, 462, 466, 468, 469, and 474. These are the rows with the NAN values. When I scroll the data from there and I reach the name of the venue, I see it's all Dubai International Cricket Stadium. And Dubai International Cricket Stadium is in the Dubai only. Yes, by looking at the stadium name, you got right, Rohit. So it is in Dubai. So I know the missing value is Dubai. See, this kind of analysis you can do only by seeing the data. For different data, you have to utilize your, knowledge. So what can, sometimes if there is no answer, then you need to, put in some value there so that it is not interfering with your analysis result. So what I'm going to do is, I've identified these are the rows which has NaN for the city. And these are the rows which have for winner and player of the match. Using my highlighter and my is NA function. Okay. Now, how I'm going to deal it? There are two ways to deal with it. One is you can use LOC method. LOC method is used on row indexes, if you remember. We did it in the pandas class, LOC and ILOC. ILOC, we used it with conditions, and LOC, we used it with, excuse me, LOC, we used it with, excuse me, with row index. Okay. So one of the option is to use this. Okay. I identify the row numbers, row indexes from here, from my output out here, and tell that put the name of Dubai using assignment. We know how to assign a value in a matrix or in a data frame, in city to be Dubai. Now this is a very crude method of doing it, because here we only have, 2, 4, 6, 7 columns. What about if you have 10 million data and you have to replace in 100 columns? 100 missing values in 10 million data is not a big thing. So this is not a very good idea to use it. For very small number of rows, for very small number of data, yes, this can work, but it is not. Okay. So what we are going to use is, we are going to use the lambda function. Asha was asking about the lambda function. So we are going to use the lambda function. Yes. So we are going to use lambda function. We are going to use fill NA. All right. And we are going to dynamically, change the name using the venue name. Okay. So this is how we are going to do. Now lambda function, Asha, is a simply nothing. So you wanted to know what is a lambda function. Let me give you a bit brief idea. See, lambda function is an anonymous function. Usually what happens is, whenever we do a function, we define a name of a function, def, function name, arguments, and then the values, and then the return values, right? That is usually, we define a non-anonymous function or a known function. Now, anything for very small task, we can use a lambda function. For example, I say lambda a colon, just add 5 to all the values that has been added. Or if I want to say multiply those two values, I can just say A multiplied by B. A very, very small task which can be done in only one statement. For that, we can use a lambda function. Okay. So we don't need to name that function. We incorporate that in our code only. All right. So to dynamically change the value, all right, to dynamically change the value instead of using this crude method, what we can do is, I say, pick up the city column from my data frame, use fill NA. That means all the null values. Fill NA is a function that is applied to identify and replace the value of NA. Now, whatever the value you want to replace it with, you put it in the bracket. Okay. Asha is asking, is it necessary to use lambda function together inside apply function only? See, if you don't want to use lambda function, what you can do is, apply is basically to call a function name. All right. Apply is used to call a function name. So in case you don't want to use lambda, you can define a function, a separate function using def, and you can call that function using apply. Okay. Since it's a user defined function and not a function from your provided by your pandas or numpy, so you need to use apply out here. Okay. Now what you are doing here is, you're picking up the value of venue, and using lambda function, you are slicing off the first 5 letters. Okay. DUBAI 0 to 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 is not inclusive. So it will be 0 to 5. So I'm not writing 0 out here. So it is very well understood. That means it is from the starting. So what I'm doing is picking up city using fill NA, and what value I have to pick? I'm picking it from the name of the stadium. And in place equal to true means change my original data frame. So here I have city name as Dubai. Okay. So my apply is using a lambda function or any other function which I want to call. In case you don't want to call any lambda function, you can call any user defined function, and it will apply to all the, since I'm saying fill NA, so it will apply to all the null values, each and every null value in the city. So I've got div by. Now similarly, I can use fill NA. Now my second null values was in the winner and player of the match. Now let's analyze winners and player of the match. If you see winners and the player of the match, win by runs and win by wickets are 0. So that means the match was draw, and there was here also it is saying no result, no result, no result, no result, and there is 0 by runs and 0 by wicket. That means I can conclude the match was drawn. Manmeet, I did not fully understood this. Unable Vishwadeep, please explain. Okay, Kumar. Which part you want to? Dubai one? How to use fill NA? Yes, okay. Let me, I cannot, all right. See, you got how Dubai function and Dubai pattern. All right. Everyone got understood how you got that city name to be Dubai? How did we get city name to be Dubai? Now, this is my name of the city. Okay. So this is the name of my venue. What I am using is, I'm using slicing function. And so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I'm using a slicing function, I can use venue 2, 5. 5 is not inclusive. Now you are asking why not write Dubai? Yes, you can write, you can hard code it to be Dubai also. You can hard code it to be Dubai also. Instead, you can just do it like this. We have done this hard coding in the next one. So I can do it like this. I can do that also. Instead of slicing, I can do this one also. I just replace the city name with the fill NA with Dubai also. This is a straightforward answer. But I used here slicing because I wanted to show the application of lambda. And also that in case I want to dynamically derive the value from any other column, how I can use any other column. Here I'm using another column to fill the values. Okay. So this is something I want you to show. I can write Dubai directly. That is a hard coding way, right? So you have analyzed your data and you do it hard coding. But what if you have 6, 7 names to replace? one is Dubai and another might be, named to be Madras Chennai International Cricket Stadium or Bangalore Cricket International Stadium. So yes, of course, your slicing would change. You will write up to the different ways. So this is just a way to show me how you can dynamically fill the value from the any other column if you want. You can use that column name, you can use apply function, you can use slicing, or you can directly hard code it. Okay. Clear? Okay. Now let's go to the second issue. Second issue was NaN for winner and player of the match. So NaN is here, no result in case of the result column. And we see here win by runs and win by wickets are 0. That means my match was drawn and cancelled. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace my NaN using my own values. There I derived Dubai from my existing column names. Here I'm giving my own value so that it does not hamper with my analysis. So here in winner, I'm writing drawn and cancelled, draw or cancelled. I don't know whether the match was drawn or whether it was cancelled due to rains. And in player also I'm writing draw and cancelled. All right, so that I can identify that these are the matches with no result. So it does not hamper with my any analysis which requires winners and player of the match. This statement is correct. This is understood. Okay. So now let me execute this code and check whether I was able to successfully replace it. Yes. It's clear now? I was able to successfully replace it. Okay. Using LOC, I'm just looking for only those particular row indexes. And now when I rerun my sum and sum again, earlier this value was 1, 5. Now it is 0. Okay. Done. Any queries till now? Okay. Now let's proceed to some more sanity checks, right? Some more sanity checks. We can go through them quickly. Okay. Now say what kind of, you all know what cricket is, right? So you know, either we knew that Duckworth-Lewis applied will be a Boolean value, either 0 or 1. Okay. It will be either 0 or 1. It cannot be 2, 3, 4, 5. What if somebody while entering the data has entered the value 2, 3, 4, 5? So I simply used either unique or value counts to check whether I have any other data. So DL value is correct. Either I have 0. Yes, Manmeet, I will share it immediately after the class. I hope you guys get it. Divya is asking, ma'am, for filling the value, can we find the position of first space character in the stadium and slice? Yes, you can do that in case you have multiple values. Instead, say Dubai, you have to replace Bangalore or Chennai or something like that. Yes, you can find the first space character and then slice it. In that case, I would prefer not to use lambda function, but you define your own function first and then call that particular function. Okay. Because in lambda, this if condition would become a little more complicated. It will complicate your code. To simplify it, better to use a def and create a new function. Okay. So you're right, Divya. Here I've just used Dubai. Okay. But in the real, in many of the scenarios, business scenarios, you might have much more complicated statements to execute. So instead of lambda, you can go ahead and define a def and a new function and get those return as values as return values. Okay. So let's check Now, another sanity check we can provide check is result should be normal, tie or no result. So is there any other value? So let's check that. So there is no other value. Now the season should be 2008 to 2019. So there should not be any values such as 2002 or 2004 or 5 or 2023 or 2025. Anybody can enter when entering a data, they can enter wrong values which can hamper our analysis. So this is also clean. Season is also clean. Now, can you write a condition? Now, I want you guys to write a condition on the chat. For the sanity check, I said the winner should be either team 1 or team 2. Okay. That means if Chennai and Mumbai are playing, Rajasthan cannot be winner. So can you tell me how do I do this sanity check? What is the condition I should check? Everyone, please write it on the chat. Write on the chat the condition which will help me do this sanity check. The winner is either team 1 or team 2. Please go ahead. I'm waiting for the answer. Take a minute or two, think about it and write. It will not be as direct as unique or value count. It will be a Boolean condition. Please go ahead and write it. Yes, I can show you the column names. So these are the column names. So team 1, the winner should be from team 1 and team 2. Yes, please write. You guys are trying? Yes or no? Just let me know. Okay, Rohit is saying winner equal to team 1 equal to. Do you think, Rohit, this will work? Just check what's wrong with it. Okay, good. Shrikant, I really like your answer. You're using lambda function to be true if X is either of team 1 or team 2. Good. Rohit, just a small mistake in your statement. Just check it. Okay. Anybody else who is trying? You can correct on the Rohit statement also. He's almost right. Almost. IPL matches lambda X equal to winner is if team. No, Ashish, I'm not looking for team 1 is winner or team 2 is winner. I am looking whether the value of winner is, say, here the value of winner is Bangalore when the team, see the here, say the toss winner, same thing. Toss winner is Delhi Capitals or Pune. It cannot be Bangalore out here. So I'm checking the sanity of the data that has been provided to me. Whether the data makes any sense. Will it make any sense? Delhi or Pune is playing and Bangalore wins the toss. It won't. So your condition will not check. It can be single pipe, Abhinav. It can be single pipe or. Both are acceptable in Python. Yes, Manmeet, you can use this also. Winner in IPL match team 1 or team 2. But it won't be just winner, it will be IPL matches dot winner in IPL matches dot team 1 and team 2. All right, good. So most of you have tried. So let me show you what I answered it, what I used it. So I have used something similar. To what Rohit was, but a different one. I'm trying to find a data set, okay, where IPL matches dot winner, or I can use index, is either team 1 or team 2, okay, or it is third one we have just entered, drawn on cancelled. There are 3 values for this value, team 1 or team 2. The values will be team 1, team 2, or drawn on cancel. We just entered that value and I am negating it so that is there any other row which do not satisfy these values, and try to get the shape of that data set. Okay, just look at this statement and tell me, are you getting it or not? So, all right, Pranjay, if you can hear me, there are some issues. Pranjay left it or what? Okay, he just shared the feedback link and he left it, I guess. Okay. All right, guys, since Pranjal left it, just leaving the upgrade feedback form, you guys can go ahead and fill the form. I'll take up the issue with my coordinator and somebody will be sharing those data with you. Okay. Now let's try to understand what I have done here. Okay. I'm saying the winner of the matches. Okay. I want to, let's forget this negation sign once. I want to identify whether the winner is team 1 or the winner can be team 2, or the third option could be drawn and cancelled, because we have just filled the null values with drawn and cancelled. So all those guys, like Manmeet has written winner in IPL matches team 1, team 2. Manmeet, there will be a third option, drawn and cancelled. IPL matches dot winner in team 1, team 2 and drawn and cancelled. Okay. Abhinav, you can use again. Shrikant, again in your question, lambda x colon true if x is in team 1, team 2, but team 1, team 2 won't be recognized directly. It has to be IPL matches dot team 1, IPL matches dot team 2, comma, in quotes, drawn and cancelled. Okay. Rohit, you were right. It will be winner double equal to team dot 1, or winner IPL matches dot winner double equal to team 2, or IPL matches dot winner equal to drawn on cancelled. So here you will identify which is all true for all these values. Okay. But I want to identify, is there any row which does not satisfy this condition? So hence a negation sign. Hope you got it. And let me know if you did not. I'll explain again. Shrikant says, okay. Got it. Rohit also got it. And what about the rest? So same way you can do it for toss winner also. Toss winner and winner will follow the same pattern. Okay. So again, same for the toss winner. So we do not have any data which do not satisfy this condition. Okay, we have a very clean data. This will not be a case in your real-time scenario. Okay, in a real-time scenario, you will definitely have lot of unclean data which you need to correct it. Okay, I'll give you guys a minute or two to fill in the feedback, and then we are going to start with your outlier analysis using box plot. So if meanwhile others are filling in the feedback, if anyone has queries from today's session, please ask, because this is going to be a last session. And in case you have more queries, then you can ask in your with your upgrade buddy, and that query will be transferred to me via my coordinator on email. I can answer then and there. Okay. So any queries you have till now for all the session? Okay, Nishant has a query, ma'am. I have a question with respect to pivot table. If I derive a pivot table from a data frame, the resultant table would also have all the properties of a data frame. Can I access the rows and the columns in the same way I access in the data frame? Yes, Nishant, you can. Just see. Let me show you the output here. See. See the output. It creates a spreadsheet style pivot table as a data frame. So output of your pivot table is a data frame, and hence you can perform all the operations, all the way you access your columns and rows. If you want to, do any kind of apply any of your data frame functions on the pivot table, you can do that, because the output is a data frame. You can check it from your documentation also. Okay. All right. I hope I've solved your query, Nishan. Praneet, ma'am, can you give some inputs, like what are the topics that we need to concentrate more for TV? Okay. All right. All those who want to know more about term end examination. In your examination, revise NumPy functions. Okay. You might need to use how to convert your NumPy functions list to a single value. See, the problem with your metal frame is that you cannot do an output as a row. You need to get an output as a single value. This is something, thank you, Praneet. I needed to discuss with you guys. I forgot about it. Let me show you what I mean by that. Let me check if I can give you answer out here. Let me go back to your case study here. See, Praneet asked me a very good question. So term and examination, there are a few things you need to know. There will be no data set. So there will be no CSV file. I'll give a small data set on about 10 to 12 rows, and I'll write all that data, because a metal platform cannot import a CSV. First thing. Second thing, you need to do some NumPy, because in NumPy functions you might be using to convert or to do some calculations, some mathematical calculations. But yes, the most concentration, 90% of your concentration would be on pandas, filtering, sorting, grouping, summarizing. These 4 things: filtering, sorting, grouping, summarizing. Okay. So I will ask, say I can ask, like in your project, I can ask which app has the highest user rating. Okay. Which app has the highest user rating? or let's say for your IPL analysis, in case I want to say IPL analysis, let me go back. Here I've asked, who are the top 10 batsmen who has scored most number of runs? So instead, what kind of question I'm going to ask you here is, who is the batsman who scored highest number of runs? Okay. Now the problem with your metal is, now if I want highest number of runs here, it's working on, I need to execute it. Yes, I am, Abhinav, I'm going to explain you that only. See, when I am executing this, oh, what is happening here? When I try to execute this code, okay, now I change the question from top 10 batsmen to who is the batsman. So what I'm looking for answer is here, is V Kohli. Now how you are going to get this answer? Just V Kohli. So if I say head 1, okay, you're going to get a row as an answer. Now, how do you derive the value V Kohli from here? Can someone tell me? Just the V Kohli. No, it's printing the entire row, beta. Ashish, it's printing the entire row. I just want V Kohli, or I just want, okay, let's see, dot batsman. It is giving me error. So it will be to list now let's see what type of, it is a series or a it's a data frame. Okay, now it's a data frame. So what I'm going to do is, yes, using index values. Yes, you can do that using index value. I'll show you the code. So this is how you do it. Batsman, head 1, we were getting that data, dot index, to list, and 0. So we converted the index part, that was index, row headers, that was not actually, batsman's was not actually the column name, it was an index row headers, converted to list using to list function, and extracting the value at the 0. Okay, so this is how you are getting the answer. So this is the way you have to do it in TEE to get the single values. So you should make sure in TEE you practice this while you're doing for project, that if in case you have to ask for a single value, how you're going to convert it. Yes, you can use ID max also after using filter, but I want your metal wants only single value, and it will compare weak only to weak only automatically. This won't be checked by me, it will be automatically checked by the system. So if it doesn't match, it will award you 0. So make sure, okay, it will, of course, if it is awarding you 0, then it will come to me, I will do it manual checking, but I cannot give you marks if it is a row. So you make sure you answer it in a single valued answers. Okay, and topics I've said: sorting, filtering, summarizing, grouping. That you should main concentrate on that. Questions like these which were asked in your project. So there will be 3 case studies and the questions will be based on that. There are multiple ways of doing it, Shrikant, multiple ways, Deepika, Rohit. So this is one of the ways. You can try out different ways. Okay, sometimes the output would be a series, sometimes the output would be a data frame, sometimes output would be a Python list. What if I asked you, what is the score? Instead of the name Virat Kohli, what if I wanted the score? Okay, so every time there might be a different ways. Yes, I'll be showing you a sample of input in your question paper. So what kind of sample would be there? And you can also see the entire data set when you scroll up your code. You could see the entire data set. So you don't worry about that, Vishwadeep. Vishwadeep is asking any sample input just for the reference. Vishwadeep, there is a demo question that will be shared with you by Upgrad guys, the examination team, so that you can practice on metal. This was the practice in the last batch, so I hope it will be continued. In case it is not done by, if you have exam on Saturday, Sunday, by Monday, Tuesday, then you can, Monday, Tuesday before your exam, then you can ask them for a demo question. There is already a demo question on the metal which you can practice on. Yes, Vaishali, you would be able to see expected output in the metal. Vaishali is asking whether I should be able to see expected output in the metal. Yes, you will be. Yes, yes. To check the score, you will use value 0. To check the index, you will use index 0. Right. Parvez, you are correct. Answer is correct. Okay. Question A. Rekha is asking, find the app with maximum languages supported. Should we print the name of the app or the row? Rekha, in this case, both the answers are acceptable, whether you're printing the entire row, whether you're printing just the name. Rekha is asking the question in the project, find the app with the maximum languages supported. Should we answer the name or the row in the project? Rekha, for the project, since it will be manually checked by me, I'll accept both the answers, whether you give the name or whether you give the row. But your metal, in case of your metal, you have to print the name only, because automated checking will accept only the name and not the row. Okay. Praneeth is asking, ma'am, there are multiple test cases that we need to satisfy. I did not get your question, Praneeth. Let me unmute you. Okay. I've answered. Rekha. Okay, Praneeth, I did not get your question. Let me unmute you and you can ask directly. Praneeth, I've allowed you to talk. You can unmute yourself and ask. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So you said that there will be a sample output that would be showed in the question. So at the back end, like once we get that output, are there any test cases that will be shown, like this much of test cases are passed for the code that you have written or something?
Yes. There will be one sample test cases and there will be two test cases that will be checked. But in case it doesn't matter with you guys, because if you see, like the question I've shown you, the answer is weak only. So whether it is a sample test case or test cases in the backend, the answer will be weak only. So in your case, all the sample test cases will have the same answer because I'm asking the name of the batsman, and similar will be the cases with all your case studies. So there is a limitation in metal that number of type of questions I can ask. I cannot go ahead and ask with, where you can get a different answers. It won't be that case. There will be a singular answer, you will know. Just like the case I have shown you. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Any other question on TE or project, you can ask me now. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do a little bit of outlier analysis with you guys because this is box plot you will study in your business statistics. Okay. But I need to show you how it is done in your code. Yes, Rohit. Rohit was asking the difficulty level will same in TE as in the project. It will be little less because I cannot ask you, top 10 question, top 10 batsmen. I cannot give you a data set with 100 of data. I have a limited, there are certain limitations in metal platform I need to adhere to. So I will ask you a complicated question, but the difficulty level would be almost the same. Okay, so don't worry about if you are able to do the project and if you have understood the IPL case study, doing TE won't be difficult. But yes, the most common mistake TE people do is one is syntax, forgetting the codes, or doing a wrong filtering conditions, or doing a wrong sorting, forgetting ascending equal to false or true wherever what is required. So please, when you're writing the code, execute it, because after executing, if there are any errors, it will be shown on your console. So solve those errors, be patient. You won't run out of the time, that I can assure you. Give some time and ensure your answers are matched. Okay, in case you're not able to do one question or you feel stuck, go ahead and do the second and third question, but they are easy. You will be able to figure it out, the condition. Okay, some conditions would be as complicated, which I just asked you, like team one as a winner or team toss winner, right? So don't forget the third condition like you did today. You checked for winner to be team one and team two, but you forgot drawn and cancelled. So make sure you are catering to all the conditions. Okay, these are the common mistakes which I figured in TE the students make. Okay, so if you are asking to do compare 2 or 3 features, usually the students do one and then I don't know in what hurry they miss the second and third or third one. All right. Vishwadeep is asking if the end result is not matching, will there a chance? See, automated system will award you 0. It will come for me for manual checking. And depending upon what steps you have done, how much, like in maths, when you used to be in school, step checking is there. So out of 10 steps, if 5 steps are correct, then I'll give you 50% marks. Yes, the step marking is there as was in your school for your maths questions. So it will be there. But if your first step is wrong and you then you say I won't give you marks for second and third steps, even if they are correct. Okay. If your first and second is correct and third is wrong, then I'll give you marks for first and second. Okay. I hope I'm clear, Vishwadeep. Okay. Now let me give you a bit of box plot. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me give you a bit of hint about box plot, what I mean by box plot, and then we can I want to give a little brief idea about the box plot before we go for today. So that, see, box plot is basically analysis done for outliers. For example, outlier analysis is like for the fraud. Say you have a credit card and you are spending about 10,000 or 20,000 a month on your credit card, but suddenly there is a spending of 5 lakhs on your credit card, right? So it is something what you usually spend, an outlier. You need to understand this is an outlier, something out of the ordinary which has been done. So that needs to be identified, that there is something wrong with this statement. Either it could be a genuine spend or it could be a dubious spend. Somebody has done a fraud. So to identify such values, such outliers, we use a box plot analysis with box plot. Okay. Now, what is a box plot? You will learn more about box plot in your business stats, but it is a plot, something which you will see like this. There is a rectangle, all right? The center of the rectangle is the median value and not the mean value. You understood why we use the median value when I took Mukesh Ambani's salaries example, right? So it will be a median value. The top end of your box plot would be the third quartile, that is the 75th percentile. We discussed about the quartiles and percentile in a very first class of NumPy. The bottom row would be the first quartile. The difference between third and first is called as interquartile range. All right. So this is called the difference between the upper hinge and the lower hinge of the box plot. That is the difference between 75th and 25th percentile is called as interquartile range. The minimum fence and the maximum fence, the lowest and the highest value, is not the max and min value of your data, but it is calculated as quarter one value or the 25th percentile value minus 1.5 IQR and plus 1.5 IQR. So this is how a box plot is plotted. Anything beyond this fences is called an outlier. For example, if I try to plot, okay, to plot a box plot, I can use matplotlib or I can use my pandas. All right, so I'm using matplotlib. To import matplotlib, you can import matplotlib as pyplot. Pyplot is a module in matplotlib which is used for plotting, and I want my plots to be shown on this notebook only, so that is why I'm writing matplotlib inline. Okay, so we will not be able to discuss all others, so let's see. So when I use describe here, my 25th percentile is 0, my minimum value is 0, my 50th percentile is 0, my 70th percentile is 19, and max is 146. So when I do a box plot on it, you can see I have so many outliers, and my lower fence, my lower hinges all are all merged. Okay, so this is all merged. But when I do it for win by runs, win by wickets, I get a very neat box plot. All right, there are no outliers. Okay, so this is how, for any graph you want to plot, you just call those functions, the respective function. For line plot, plot. For histograms, hist, scatter, scatter, bar plot, bar. So, corresponding names are there and you can use it to plot various graphs. Since it is optional, I'm not currently pushing for you. So let's see, I have created one histogram. So just call hist function and whatever the column you want to plot, and just call show, and you will be able to plot this. Okay, so for any other functions, similarly you can plot and you can look what all options you have for styling and all. All right, so this is for you. So here you can see So if I want to do how many matches were close encounters, close encounters means any matches that are won by 10 or less than 10 runs. So there are more than 500 matches out of our 756 matches that were close encounters that were won by less than 10 runs. Okay. Whereas between 10 to 20, we have just 100 matches, and above 20, there were only 10 matches. Okay. So this is all about histograms and anything. So anything else you guys you want to ask? Otherwise, I can close the session now. Anything else? Otherwise, you guys can leave. Any queries? Any question? You can ask me. Otherwise, I'm closing the session today. Okay, good. Vishudev, in case you have a doubt now, what you can do is you can post it on your group, and you can tell them that you want to ask this query from your faculty, and that will come as a mail to me. I will answer that mail, and the answer will go back to you and back to your group. So that should be followed. But right now your upgrad buddy is not well or has some medical emergency, so it might take some time. Otherwise, this is the route we have followed previously also. Thanks, Deepika. Thanks. I thank you guys all for giving me a great feedback for the last sessions, and I'm happy to work with this group. This was one of the most active groups I had. Bye, and all the best for your term and examinations. Okay, probably we won't be meeting again, and all the best for your term and examination. Any doubts you can pass on to me. All right, bye. Thanks, guys. You're most welcome. Thanks, Praneeth. I also enjoyed working with you guys because you guys had a lot of queries, and I never felt that you guys were anytime inactive or sleeping. So you were also a great group. So I'm closing the session now. Okay. Bye, everyone. And I have a good night.